Picture this: white sand beaches, warm weathers, and charming villages promising tourists with a dream small town life. But this has a catch. While you could settle in a 3-story house with ocean view, a family that has lived in that town for generations is being priced out of their homes. As a Mexican, I often hear discussions among Americans about their plans to retire in the warm coastal lines of Latin America. However, these waves of American citizens moving in result in locals being pushed out of their homes and disrupting the economy, leading to increased living expenses. So today I'm here to persuade you why Americans and other foreigners should stop moving and retiring in Latin America and look for ways to support local communities when visiting these countries. So first, I will establish what Latin American communities are facing while being priced out of their homes. Second, what is causing these problems, and third, what can we do to help? First, let me explain how living prices are rising, and second, are these expenses forcing locals to move out of their homes and being pushed out outside the community? I will start by defining gentrification. Oxford Languages defines it as the process whereby the character of a poor urban area is changed by wealthy people moving in, improving housing, and attracting new businesses, typically displacing current inhabitants in the process. For many years, Americans have looked for alternatives to an unaffordable living costs in the States, leading them to explore countries where their high budgets make it easier for them to find housing. An article written by ABC News on July 28, 2022, based on interviews made to Mexican residents, say residents of the city blame those incoming Americans for rising the cost of and gentrification of certain neighborhoods. The residents also comment, "Our homes now house digital nomads." Even though the biggest problem are the foreigners that move in, heavy tourism also affects communities. All those houses where families used to live and send their kids to school, all those houses are now apartments for tourists. So, says someone when NPR News, January 9th, 2024, interviewed people in Seville, Spain, for their thoughts on their very heavy tourism. But now, where are all the locals saving these strangers living? Hawaii is one of the best examples to explain where the locals end up after being pushed out of their homes. An article by CNN, April 10th, 2022, says how even though the tourism industry in Hawaii powers the state revenue, tourism has resulted in native Hawaiians getting priced out of their homes and climate change wreaking havoc on their natural landscape. The article by Medium, Please Don't Move to Hawaii, April 11, 2022, states that migration and property purchases in Hawaii will raise living costs, making it harder for natives and locals to stay. The average income from somebody in Hawaii is $40,824, which is $2,219 lower than the national average, despite having one of the highest costs of living in the United States. The median home price of Oahu is $978,000, almost $1 million. 1 in 5 live in multi-general homes to cut costs, but without family support, they risk homelessness or relocation. So by now, you understand that tourism and foreigners moving to other countries is seriously affecting local communities. Now, let me explain why so many people are moving in. I often hear about Americans planning on buying houses in Latin America, looking for peace and quiet. There are 1.6 million Americans living in Mexico, many of them coming during coronavirus pandemic, when Mexico eased restrictions sooner than many places in the United States, declares the New York Post, July 28, 2022. In the article, CNN, during series of interviews for the article, Mexico City becomes work for home heaven for USA expats, but locals are getting priced out. August 22nd, 2022. Came across Fernando Bustos' Fernando Bustos Goropes, who claims that in Mexico City they can live in a house or apartment that's nice and big and create a better life. Costa Rica is also a country that keeps taking Americans in each year, and locals are not happy about it. They come, build big houses on the beaches, install swimming pools, and start complaining about everything Costa Rican. Says Medium, November 15, 2021, Americans are ruining Costa Rica. All the problems stating are not only caused by the people who move in. Some countries, like Hawaii, that's not a country, that's a state. But anyways, are mainly affected by tourists that come in the cities and towns. The article by CNN in August 18, 2022 reports the insane amount of money made from visitors in Hawaii during April 2022. Over $1 billion in the islands, but the residents are not so happy regarding the income. In 2021, there were more than 6.7 million visitors compared to 1.4 million residents, remarks CNN, which can cause carbon emissions to surge and overuse of its beaches, hiking trails, and other natural wonders. So now that you know how local communities are affected by tourism and Americans that move, I will share ways to help us as individuals or as part of a society. Americans should find options to retire or move in their own country. They should also research how they could benefit local communities when they visit. First, I want to make clear the main reasons for not moving into these countries. Second, how to create less impact when visiting. Just do not move. Every single person in the previous articles, including myself, are asking you, please don't move. Both Medium articles, one about Hawaii and one about Costa Rica, tell readers to stop moving there, stating the locals don't want them around, and they insist that each visit or move only makes living costs skyrocket, driving long-time residents away from their homes. Right now, Mexico is having presidential campaigns for 2024, and the youth of Mexico is leaning towards whoever has the better plan to fight gentrification. Americans should leave, exclaimed a resident in a review for article for ABC News. But of course, no one can stay away from these beautiful places. That is why we can visit while being mindful of the local community. This is Business Insider, January 14, 2024, recommends things to do while visiting Mexico or other countries. Summary, visitors should avoid assuming everybody speaks English and learn basic local words. They should opt for older Airbnb accommodations to support locals, Airbnbs that are meant for tourism. Patronize local vendors over American-owned businesses to boost the local economy, and immerse yourselves in the local culture, art, and history for more fulfilling experiences. Now that travel blog also gives us similar recommendations. They recommend eating, shopping, and living like a local. Maybe support a local cause and be mindful with their ecological footprint. And regarding hotels, when I say don't stay at an all-inclusive, I don't mean stay at a one-star hostel. Instead, in every city, it is easy to find nice and local hotels that would very gladly accommodate you. And most of the times even help you move around since they are locally owned. So today I established how Latin American communities are being priced out of their homes, are facing with this phenomenon. Second, what is causing these problems? And third, what can we do to help? If you ever hear or think somebody talk about how nice it would be to have a big house in Central America, Mexico City, Hawaii, Costa Rica, or anywhere else, think about all those locals that used to live there and now cannot afford their own homes. One last time, I beg you, please stop moving to our countries. No one wants you here. And if a vacation is in the plans, do it as mindful of the locals as possible. It is not fair for them to move out of their homes because you can afford ridiculous prices. Thank you.